What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good? It's your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are also subscribed to the channel. As a friendly reminder, the content isn't just available on YouTube, right? I love when you guys lock in on YouTube. Don't get it twisted. I love when you guys tune in live. I even love when you guys tune in after the fact. Sometimes you can't watch the whole thing and you want to watch it on your own time. I appreciate that. So shout out to you guys who are watching this at your own leisure. And that's the dope thing about this content game. You pay to play. You watch it when you want to watch it. You stream it when you want to stream it. I love the power that the consumer has. But also, you guys are able to lock in on this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We try to make sure every episode that we upload here is uploaded on Apple Podcast and Spotify within the first couple hours after the show ends. So make sure you guys continue to support that. On top of that, you guys know we're partnered with SeatGeek here. Make sure you guys take advantage of the promo code Chalk It Up Sports at the top of the screen. Promo code Chalk It Up Sports. You get $20 off. $20 off your very first SeatGeek order. Download the app. The link is in the description. Or just go to your app store, search SeatGeek, and utilize that promo code to get $20 off your first order. It's baseball season. The Phillies are kicking ass right now. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure you guys take advantage. Baseball games, baseball tickets, man, I'll be honest. I enjoy going to baseball games more than I enjoy going to basketball games. Baseball games, they're just something cool, relaxing. It's a vibe about them. You know what I mean? I love going to Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. So make sure you guys take advantage and utilize that SeatGeek promo code Chalk It Up Sports to get $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Okay. Now that we've gotten the housekeeping out of the way. Oh, and by the way, I want to give a shout out to a special supporter of mine. My family, my mother and my brother, they were in the furniture store in West Philly a couple days ago. No, yesterday. They were in the furniture store yesterday in West Philly. Mecca Furniture, to be exact. If you know, you know. My mom and my brother, they were in Mecca Furniture Store in West Philly. They were trying to kill some time while the dog gets groomed. And they happened to run into somebody who supports the show. My brother was walking through the store, and I'm not sure if the brother worked there or if he was shopping himself. I'm not entirely sure. But my brother was walking past his brother, and he overheard something he was listening to. And my brother was like, hold on, wait, that sound like Tone. That sound like my big brother. So he walked past the man one more time just to double check. And he heard my voice. And one thing led to another. My brother was like, hey, listen, that's my big brother you listening to. Chalk It Up Sports, Tone DeShields. That's my big brother. I got him on the phone right now. And my brother FaceTimed me, and I was able to touch base and show love to Mr. James, holding it down in Mecca Furniture Store. So I gotta show love. I gotta give flowers to Mr. James, who was watching the show. Be it if he was on the clock, off the clock, I ain't gonna tell nobody, Mr. James, but shout out to you for supporting the show. You really made my day yesterday. Tuning into the live stream or tuning into the show. Again, Mr. James was watching the show on his own time, right? That was a stream I think we did on Monday. That was a Monday stream he was watching yesterday, and I just think it's so dope to just find people, see people who actually support you in real time, in real life, holding it down in the city of Philadelphia. I think that's so dope to me. So I want to give a special shout out. I want to give a special shout out to Mr. James, man. Mr. James, who was doing his thing, who was relaxing, who was shopping in Mecca Furniture Store, man. So that's fly. And I appreciate all of you guys who support the show, all of you guys who support the show all over the country, all over the world. As a matter of fact, while you guys are here, drop where you from, drop where you tuning in from. You know what I mean? Drop where you tuning in from. I know my man S. Blunt holding it down in Delaware. You know what I mean? Let me know where y'all at right now. You feel me? So once again, shout out to Mr. James from Mecca Furniture Store in West Philly, man. Shout out to him. If you listen to Mr. James, much love. You know who you are. Much love. Now, let's get to the content. Let's get to why y'all really came here. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Powerful name. Strong name. You feel me? Here's the thing. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he wants his shot at the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. That season, the way it ended last year for the Detroit Lions was very, very anticlimactic. It was unfortunate. It was a shame how the Detroit Lions season ended this past playoff run. I mean, you can't even call it a run. That was more of a playoff walk. That was more so a playoff high and by. You know what I mean? They didn't even have time to get comfortable. Detroit didn't even have time to grab something to eat. They came to the party and said, hi, bye. Hi, bye. You feel what I'm saying? I can't even take what Detroit did seriously in the playoffs. It was a quick high and by. You know what I mean? But let's dog walk this thing. Let's take this step by step. Let's discuss how we got here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he was on Kevin Hart's show, Cold as Balls, which I love that show, by the way. I love that piece of content that Kevin Hart's come out with. Philly's own, North Philly's own Kevin Hart. You feel what I'm saying? Also, shout out to Kevin Hart. I don't know if you guys know this, but Kevin Hart and his liquor company, they sponsored the entire transportation for Eagles fans the day of the Eagles parade. So the Broad Street line, the Market Frankfurt line, Kevin Hart completely took care of the bill. He footed the bill for Philadelphia on the day of the parade when it came to public transportation. So, got to give love to Kevin Hart. But Amon-Ra St. Brown was on Kevin Hart's show, Cold as Balls, and he was asked about his experience in the NFL. He was asked about, growing up, being the son of a bodybuilder. His mother's from Germany. He came from a household that had high expectations for him and his brothers. You know what I'm saying? He came from a household that truly believed in education, truly believed in accountability, respectability, taking care of your body, being accountable. You know what I mean? Like he really came from a strong household. So Amon-Ra St. Brown comes from good stock, and it was a very good episode, by the way. It was a fun episode. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, to be honest with you. I like him personally, and I think he's a phenomenal football player. But he was asked about his experience being drafted to Detroit. He didn't like it at first. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown was a 4th-round pick, right? A 3rd or 4th-round pick. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think he was a 4th or 3rd-round pick. I want to say 4th. And, he got drafted to Detroit, and he was not feeling it at all. He wasn't feeling it. And we know in 2021, Detroit was a year behind in where they were supposed to be. Right. I think 2021, that was Dan Campbell's first season, and they didn't win a lot of games at all. But Amon-Ra St. Brown had a pretty strong rookie campaign. His rookie campaign rivaled Devontae Smith's rookie campaign, that 2021 season. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown had over 900 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. I think he had over 100 targets. You know what I mean? I think maybe between 70 to 90 catches, something like that. He had a really good rookie year, a strong rookie year, right? But then his career took off, or he took a step forward in 2022, had just over 1,000 yards, had about 1,100 yards in 2022. Then his career took off in 2023, and 2024. 2023 and 2024 has been his best seasons by far. And he's been a 2-time first-team All-Pro. I think he's been a 3-time Pro Bowler or a 2-time Pro Bowler. He is decorated. Let's not get it twisted. Amon-Ra St. Brown is somebody who has earned in his league. And again, I'm leading with respect. I'm leading with respect because I actually respect Amon-Ra St. Brown's work ethic. I respect his game. I respect the talent. I respect the production. I respect the ability to be a part of an organization that was in hell and you helped bring them back to relevancy. I'm leading with respect. That's who I am. That's who I am. I'm gonna lead with respect because I'm a respectful brother. And I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not just gonna talk for clickbait. I'm not just gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna be honest. And again, since St. Brown, he really didn't crash out. He didn't crash out. He said what he said, but he didn't crash out. That's why I'm leading with respect. Again, one of the best receivers in football in 4 years being in the NFL with Detroit. 66 games, 430 receptions on 570 targets, just over 4,800 yards receiving, 33 touchdowns. He's been a hell of a player for Detroit, a hell of a receiver in the NFL. I think he just signed a very lucrative contract. He has potential to go down as one of the best receivers in Detroit history. Megatron holds that crown and will forever hold that crown. But he has potential to go down as a Detroit Hall of Famer. If he keeps this up, he'll be an NFL Hall of Famer, right? He's playing at a very great pace in his career. He can ball. He can ball. But here's the problem, Mr. Brown. Here is the problem. And I mean this with the utmost respect. Y'all didn't live up to the hype. The Detroit Lions did not live up to the hype. Y'all did not fulfill y'all end of the bargain. We got to be honest about this. We can't be on platforms talking about who we want to play, who we want to see, when you didn't live up to your end of the bargain. We did. The Philadelphia Eagles lived up to their end of the bargain. You know, this is what happens when, players have podcasts, and I'm all for players having a podcast if you continue to produce. If you produce, I don't care what you do. If you don't produce, hey, put the microphone down. But him on Kevin Hart's show called his balls, and I think even not too long ago, they had conversations on his own podcast, him and his brother Osiris, who's, let's be honest, he's no disrespect, but he's a mediocre receiver. He's a mediocre receiver in the NFL. I mean, I don't think that's disrespectful. I think I'm sorry, not Osiris. Equanimus St. Brown. Excuse me, not Osiris. Equanimus St. Brown. I mean this with the utmost respect. A mediocre receiver in football. Not even. And I got to give his brother credit. His brother even tried to say, hey, listen, relax. Relax. You know what I'm saying? But this is not about E. This is not about Equanimus. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Equanimous. It's not even about him. But Amon-Ra St. Brown. Brother, with all due respect, y'all did not live up to the hype. Y'all did not live up to y'all end of the bargain. And I will say this, y'all won a lot of games. Y'all dominated a lot of teams. We're not going to cap about that. All year, y'all was them dogs. All year. Y'all dominated Seattle. Y'all dominated the Cowboys. Y'all dominated Tennessee. Y'all dominated Green Bay. Y'all dominated Jacksonville. Y'all dominated the Colts. You know what I'm saying? Y'all dominated Chicago. Y'all dominated Minnesota. I got to give y'all credit for that. Y'all beat some quality opponents. Me personally, I felt like Minnesota was always fool's gold. That's just me. I felt like Minnesota and Green Bay were fool's gold all year long. That's my personal opinion. So honestly, the only win on your resume that I really respect is when you beat Los Angeles in week 1. Other than that, I mean, everybody else was fool's gold to me. San Fran was a dumpster fire all year long. Minnesota was fool's gold to me. Green Bay was fool's gold. Y'all entire division, the NFC North, was fool's gold. One and done in the playoffs. One and done. The Rams smacked up on the Vikings. The Eagles smacked up on the Packers. And the Commanders smacked up on the Lions. Again, I want to be respectful because I like you, St. Brown. I like you, Amon-Ra. I like you. Talented brother. Top 5 receiver in football, if you ask me. Top 5, top 7 for sure. Without question. One of the highest paid guys in the league for a reason. I respect you, brother. I mean this. I respect you. I respect you. But we gotta be mindful of the things we say. We gotta be mindful of the trees we bark up. You gotta be careful what you wish for. I say again, all year, y'all was the talk of the town. Y'all was the bells of the ball. Everybody was like, hey, it's Detroit versus everybody. Detroit's going to win it all. The NFC runs through Detroit. There's no team playing as well as them. There's no team as hot as them. There's no offense as lethal as theirs. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff is on a heater. That offensive line can't be stopped. David Montgomery. Now, I will say this. I will say this. You guys had a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. I think you guys had a league high of 15 players on IR. Primarily, most of them were on defense. Primarily. Just I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to cap. I'm going to lead with respect. I'm also going to lead with facts. You guys had like 15 guys on IR. That's unfortunate. It's hard to overcome that. It's hard to overcome that. I get it. 15 guys on IR, most of them on the defensive side. I mean, you guys were just losing bodies left and right. That's a fact. You lost David Montgomery for damn near the whole season. He came back for the playoffs, but still wasn't really a factor. You lost Sam Laporta for a good portion of the season. I think he came back at some point. Right? But y'all was still dominating. I mean, y'all finished the season, 15-2? So those injuries couldn't have been that bad, were they? They couldn't have been that bad. I mean, y'all finished the season 15-2. Y'all dominated the Vikings 31-9 in the season finale. Y'all went blow for blow with Buffalo, but y'all lost 48-42. I mean, I gotta be honest. Y'all went 15-2. How much of a excuse can I really give y'all? Can I really give y'all an excuse? I'm only mentioning the injuries because they're facts. But I have a hard time giving you guys an excuse, giving you guys an out. Because you guys were the number 1 seed. You were 15-2. You got the bye week. Your season went exactly how you guys wanted it to go, except when you ran into that boy, Jaden Daniels, and the Washington Commanders in the divisional round. Ooh, you ran into that boy. You ran into that boy. What happened to that boy? What happened, Detroit? What happened? You got to lose yourself to the music the moment you want it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Come on, Detroit. Come on. Y'all let a rookie quarterback come into y'all place, walk into y'all stadium, and smack y'all up like that? Come on now. Come on. I can't. How can I take y'all seriously? I'm serious. I'm serious, St. Brown. I like you. I respect you. But how can I take y'all seriously when y'all can't live up to y'all end of the bargain? When y'all can't even make it to the Super Bowl. Now, again, Detroit, for a team that's been in hell for a long time, you guys have succeeded a lot. But I think we're at the point now where your fans at least, are starting to have high expectations. I don't think they're comfortable anymore just being good or just being relevant. They want to win. They want to win big. They believe they can win a Super Bowl. And you guys had one of the best coaching staffs in football. Dan Campbell being the rah-rah guy, that CEO coach, Ben Johnson calling the plays on offense, a whiz kid. You had Aaron Glenn. Shout out to that brother, new head coach for the New York Jets. Y'all had Aaron Glenn calling that defense, man. Y'all had a very strong coaching staff. But now Ben Johnson, he's in Chicago. Aaron Glenn's in New York with the Jets. Dan Campbell. Who are you going to be? Now you find yourself in a similar position Nick Sirianni found himself in. Can you rebuild your staff? Can you elevate your coaching prowess? But I digress. Y'all won a lot of games. Y'all continue to let the city of Detroit down. But y'all want the Eagles week 1. St. Brown, you want the Eagles week 1. When you couldn't beat us in week 1 in 2022. When y'all couldn't beat us in 2021. You have not beat the Philadelphia Eagles. We have routinely and regularly been better than you. Whenever we've laced it up, whenever the Eagles have gone toe-to-toe with Detroit, we've been better than you. Every time. And then when it came time for you guys to live up to your expectations, you failed. Y'all couldn't handle the pressure. And I will say this, St. Brown, again, I'm going to lead with respect. In the playoffs, you show up. You show up in the playoffs. I believe in that Washington Commanders game. I believe in that game you had, let's make sure I got this right here. Let's make sure I got this right, brother, because I'm going to lead with respect. I'm going to lead with respect. In that Washington game, you had 10 targets, 8 catches for 137 yards. You averaged 17 yards of reception with an 80% catch rate. You were balling. No touchdowns, but you played well. You showed up. Every time the ball came your way, you did something with it. And I'm going to get to your super chats. Don't worry. I'm going to get to the super chats, and I will get to your comments. You showed up. In the playoffs, brother, I will say this about you. You show up. In 4 career playoff games, combined, you got 44 targets, 30 catches, 411 yards, only 1 touchdown, which is interesting. But sometimes the ball just doesn't land that way. I can understand that. Sometimes, you know, you get to the 1 or 2 yard line and you run the ball and you keep it simple. I'm not going to get on your back for the touchdowns, but it is something I look at. But as far as catching the ball, moving the ball, getting yards, being a chain mover, Amon-Ra St. Brown, you show up in the playoffs. I will give you that, brother. You show up in the playoffs. Averaging almost 14 yards of reception, 411 total yards in 4 playoff games, 30 catches, 44 targets. You do show up. But this is a team sport. This is a team sport, brother. And whenever it's time for your team, because remember, you're a receiver. You're only controlled by so much. The wide receiver position, Devontae Smith said it, it's one of the most dependent positions in football. In order for the wide receiver to get his, first and foremost, the snap between the center and the quarterback has to be perfect. The offensive line has to block. The quarterback has to go through his reads. The receiver has to win their route. And then the quarterback has to deliver the ball from point A to point B, putting the ball in harm's way in the air. And the receiver has to catch that ball in the midst of conflict. The wide receiver position is the most dependent position in football. So a lot has to go right for you to eat, St. Brown. A lot has to go right for you guys to really succeed at your position. So you've shown up. But whenever it was time for your team to cut the cheese, you couldn't do it. Whenever it was time for y'all to really show up and prove why y'all them guys, whenever it was time for y'all to show up and prove that y'all are the legit contenders we know y'all to be, you couldn't do it. 1 and done with the number 1 seed. You lost to the number 6 seed. One and done. One and done. High and by. You came in, you went. The one hitter quitter. Come on, man. You got punched in the mouth by an overrated Washington Commanders team. I'll say it again, just so Commanders fans don't get it fucked up. You, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and your Detroit Lions got punched in the mouth by an overrated Washington Commanders team. And on January 28th, 2024, you led the San Francisco 49ers 24-7 going into halftime in the NFC Championship game. And y'all blew a 17-point lead. You led the San Francisco 49ers 24-7 at halftime. January 28th, 2024. Don't forget that date. 24-17, you led at halftime. A 17-point lead, and you blew it. I say all that to say, in summary, how can I take Detroit seriously? How can I take the Detroit Lions seriously? But y'all want a shot at us. Y'all want a shot at the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all want a shot at the big dogs. Huh. I get it. I get it. I get it now. Y'all woulda, coulda, shoulda type of dudes. Y'all feel like y'all woulda beat us. Y'all feel like y'all coulda beat us. Y'all feel like it should have been y'all. It's nothing worse than somebody who feels like it should have been them. You got to watch out for those kind of people in life. They look at your success. They look at what you achieved. And you know what they say to themselves? It should have been me. It should have been me. That was our Lombardi trophy. We would have smoked the Chiefs too. Well, first and foremost, you got to get past the Washington Commanders and a much inferior team. They had the better quarterback, obviously. But the way y'all was waxing poetic about Jared Goff all year, the way everybody was saying Jared Goff is playing his best football, we know who Jared Goff is. We know who Jared Goff is. When it comes to big playoff games, he can't hack it. He was in the Super Bowl in his career. He made it there, but couldn't even generate 20 points. Couldn't even, come on, man. Jared Goff is not a big game quarterback. He's not, but Jalen Hurts is. You see, Amon-Ra St. Brown, if you had Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, maybe you would have beat Washington. Maybe y'all would have had a chance. There's a difference. There's levels to this thing. What? Jared Goff accounted for 4 turnovers in that game, 3 interceptions and 1 fumble. How can I take y'all seriously? It would have been y'all. It could have been y'all. It should have been y'all. It was y'all time. Y'all season went exactly how y'all wanted it to go. Y'all dominated everybody. Y'all got the number 1 seed. You got the favorable opponent. Y'all got the favorable opponent. Y'all were better than them in every way, top to bottom. But y'all just couldn't show up. It's hard to overcome 4 turnovers. It is. It is. It's even more difficult when your defense surrenders 45 points. Ask Washington. Ask Washington. They know what it's like. They know what it's like to have 4 turnovers in a game, 5 turnovers in a game, and their defense can't hold water. They know what it's like. They know what it's like. You know the only thing I really hate y'all for, Detroit? You want to know the one thing I hate y'all for? Y'all want to know the one thing I hate y'all for? And by the way, you guys, we're going to recap our mock draft 3.0. We're going to recap that. Remember, we did a mock draft on Monday, and we didn't get the chance to really peel the layers back on those selections. So we're going to revisit our mock draft 3.0 today. We're going to revisit the draft that we did on Monday. But you know what I hate about y'all most, Detroit? I hate the fact that y'all gave the Washington Commanders false confidence. I hate the fact that y'all made them believe that they were legitimate. I hate the fact that you made Washington Commanders fans believe they had a shot in hell against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what I hate y'all for the most. That's what I hate y'all for the most. So don't go on this platform or that podcast talking about who you want to play in week 1. Just play the schedule. Play the schedule the way it falls for you. Just play your schedule. Keep it low key. Do your job and show up when it's time to show up. Because as of right now, as far as I'm concerned, the Detroit Lions are more so paper tigers. Y'all look fierce. Y'all look dangerous. Y'all look legit. But don't let it rain. That paper tiger going to turn into mush. That paper tiger going to melt. It's going to crumble under the pressure. You see, the Philadelphia Eagles, they felt pressure. Starting the season 2-2, having to battle back and re-earn credibility and re-earn dominance. Going through a 2023 season where you started 10-1 and then you collapse. The Philadelphia Eagles know pressure. They know expectation. They know how to learn from their mistakes. That's real pressure. Having to run the table in the wild card round against the Green Bay Packers. Having to face the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round in the blizzard. Having to face a divisional opponent in the NFC Championship game. Having to face the reigning Super Bowl champions in the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that took it from them in 2022. Having to face that demon again. The Eagles, they know real pressure. And they respond to the pressure. And they learn from their mistakes. And they don't allow the same problem to be an issue twice. That's real pressure. That's real champion level shit. You feel me? That's how you show up when it matters most. And again, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I respect you, brother. Love your game. Love what you're doing for Detroit. You're a productive football player. You're on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Just stay healthy. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going to go down as one of the best, the second best receiver in Detroit Lions history. Megatron will always be goated, will always be king in Detroit. I respect you. I respect you, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I respect you. Please understand that. But I just got to remind you of how this thing works. I got to remind you of how y'all season went. And please, I promise you, point out the lie. Point out the lie. I want anybody and everybody to point out the lie. Let me talk to the people. Did I say anything that wasn't a fact? Did I say anything that wasn't accurate? We all got eyes. Y'all had 2 cracks at it. 2 cracks at it. Made it to the NFC Championship game. You were up 24-7 to the San Francisco 49ers. And y'all laid an egg in the second half. How, Sway? How, Sway? How? How? I don't understand. But you know what? Okay. We give y'all a break for that. I won't, but people give y'all a break for that because it was y'all first real playoff run. You know what I mean? It's the furthest y'all went ever, I believe. So people say, okay, you know what? They're going to come back in 2024 stronger. They're going to be better. They're going to exceed even their expectations from the previous season. And they did that. Better record, 15-2. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I got this right here. Detroit in 2023, y'all went 12-5. 12-5. And y'all took it to another level and went 15-2. Y'all were the number 1 seed. Y'all were the number 1 seed. Y'all beat the Rams in the wild card round in 2023. Y'all beat the Buccaneers in the divisional round. And then you laid an egg in the NFC Championship game in the second half. Y'all were up 24-7. But I'll give you grace. Y'all were the number 1 seed in 2024. And what happened? What happened? Number 1 seed, you got the bye, 15-2 record, powerhouse offense, the number 1 offense in football. What happened? I know what happened. Your quarterback folded. Y'all defense folded. I know. I know. I know. That shit hurt, don't it? It hurts. It's hard to make sense of it. And then now, Ben Johnson is gone. Aaron Glenn is gone. You guys are going to have to carve out a new identity on offense and a new identity on defense. And just as an honorable mention, just as a sidebar, not really relevant, but I'll give you a sidebar. We got the better cornerback in the 2024 draft. We got Quinyon Mitchell. Y'all got Terrion Arnold. And just for the record, while Terrion Arnold was at Alabama, Nick Saban was trying to get Quinyon to come over there. Nick Saban was trying to get Quinyon over there while he had Terrion Arnold. Nick Saban's on record saying, yeah, this kid, Quinyon Mitchell, we were trying to get him in Alabama. We were trying to offer him everything. He didn't want to come over. He wanted to stay in Toledo. We got the better corner in the draft. Y'all had to settle for Terrion Arnold. Just saying. And we even walked away with Cooper DeJean just to add insult to injury. We got the 2 best corners in the draft class, and you got Terrion Arnold. Come on, man. And I say this with love. I say this with respect. I say this with facts. But shout out to Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. You've earned every penny, brother. I really enjoyed you on Kevin Hart's Cold as Balls podcast, or his show, excuse me. I really enjoyed that. I love watching you play, man. Phenomenal talent, truly. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I mean that you're a phenomenal talent, but just be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because there's always a catch. You didn't let the genie out of the bottle. The toothpaste is out of the tube. It's going to be hell getting it back. So we'll see. If we play y'all week 1, if we play y'all, whenever we play y'all, I don't really care. I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, the Philadelphia Eagles lived up to expectation. The Philadelphia Eagles took care of business. The Philadelphia Eagles were dominant in the wild card round. They got tested in the divisional round, and then they were dominant again in the NFC Championship game, and they were dominant in the Super Bowl. There's levels to this shit, man. There's levels to this. That's all. That's all I'm going to say, man. And again, last thing, I hate y'all for this. Y'all gave the Washington Commanders false confidence. You gave them false bravado. You had them thinking they could really come in Philadelphia and win that game. I hate y'all for that, Amon-Ra. I hate y'all for that. I can't stand y'all for that. For that alone, I want the Eagles to whoop y'all ass. Giving the Washington Commanders false confidence, making them think they was on schedule or ahead of schedule, making them believe they deserve to be in that position, making them believe that they could run with us. If there's anything that I do agree with you on, Amon-Ra St. Brown, it should have been you and I, or the Eagles and the Lions in the Super Bowl, or in the NFC Championship game. Excuse me, pardon. It really should have been Eagles versus Detroit. It should have been. It should have been. It could have been. But y'all didn't live up to your end of the deal. Y'all didn't take care of y'all business. So y'all got to sit with that. Y'all got to ponder that while we celebrate with the Lombardi, our second Lombardi, by the way, in the last, our second Lombardi in the last 7 years, our third Super Bowl appearance over the last 7 years, our second Super Bowl appearance within 3 years. You see, our head coach, he doesn't just take risk and talk shit. He backs it up. That's the problem with Dan Campbell. He talks shit, he gambles, and he puts y'all in bad positions regularly. You can't trust the man. But my guy, Nick Sirianni, 70% career winning, 70% career regular season record or winning percentage, and above 60% playoff win rate. Two-time NFC champion, one-time Super Bowl champion, 2 Super Bowl appearances in 4 years as a head coach. I'm just saying, man, there's levels to this. There's levels to this. That's all I'm going to say. It's levels, man. Let me get to y'all super chats. I appreciate you guys for locking in on the show. I appreciate you guys for subscribing and enjoying this conversation that we're having here. Chaotic Green with the $5 super chat, my guy. He says, I always said, yeah, they lost a lot of players, but none of them would have made a difference in the head-to-head game against us. We just better. Chaotic. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I feel the same way, bro. I feel the exact same way. Y'all lost all those players, but y'all still went 15-2. Y'all still was the number 1 seed. Come on, man. I can't feel but so bad for y'all. I can't feel but so bad. Come on, man. I can't. S Blunt with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, I can't be mad at him. You want to be the champs. You got to beat the champs. Last year, we lost to Tampa, but I didn't want them. I wanted the Chiefs. Exactly. I get it. You want that spot. You want that number 1 spot. I get it. But S Blunt, remember, we didn't just want the Chiefs because they're Super Bowl champions. We wanted them for personal reasons. We wanted the Chiefs for personal reasons. It wasn't just about them being the champions. We wanted them for our get back. We needed to get our lick back. It wasn't just about them being the top dogs. We needed to remind them that they shouldn't have beat us in the first place. That's the difference. We needed to get our get back. But listen, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. But take your time. That's the problem. That was my problem with Detroit all year long. I'm watching Detroit win these games, and they're being dominant, by the way, and they're having a phenomenal year. I'm watching these guys, and I'm saying to myself, oh, y'all cocky. Oh, y'all arrogant. Y'all like running the score up on motherfuckers. That's who Detroit was all year. Fool's gold, pretenders. They see, the football gods don't reward arrogance. The football gods, they don't reward hubris. All year long, I'm watching the lines, and I'm like, yo, I don't believe them. They running the score up on bad teams. They're not sitting starters when they're clearly going to win games. They were trying to win the Super Bowl every week. Every week, they were trying to win the Super Bowl. You don't win the Super Bowl in week 1. You don't win the Super Bowl in week 8. You don't win the Super Bowl in week 14. You win the Super Bowl when the Super Bowl comes. You take everything one game at a time. You get in, get out, get the win. But they wanted to run the score up on motherfuckers. They wanted to be arrogant, be cocky, play the game with hubris, leaving their starters in. When they got a team on the ropes, hell, they got a team down for the count. They up 20-plus points in the fourth quarter, up 30 points, up 25, 28 points in the fourth quarter. They still got starters in. They run it. See, they got what they got. They got exactly what they got. My man Quinton Fields with the super chat. Thank you, my guy. And he followed it up with another super chat. He says, if anything, Amon-Ra St. Brown should want the Commanders instead of us. He's right. Yo, Quinton, he should want them. He should want them. Like, for real. He should want them. Wait, what 50 Cent say? What 50 Cent say? What you saying fuck me for? We didn't play y'all last year. We ain't knocked y'all out the playoffs. What you saying fuck me for? Y'all should want that get back with the Commanders. Y'all gave them false confidence. Y'all gave them false bravado. Y'all made them think they were actually ahead of schedule. Y'all made them believe that they actually deserved to be in the NFC Championship game. Y'all made them believe that, not us. We reminded them that they was ass. We reminded them that they were pretenders, that they were mediocre, that they didn't deserve to be there, that they were overrated. We did y'all a favor. What you saying fuck us for? Like, come on, man. What we do? All we did was do our jobs. All the Eagles did was take it one game at a time, and they got hot at the right time. They were just getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. Played their best football, saved their best football for the playoffs, saved their largest scoring outputs for the playoffs. The Eagles didn't shoot their load in the regular season against the Jaguars. The Eagles didn't shoot their load against the Tennessee Titans or against the Colts or the Cowboys. The Eagles didn't waste time trying to prove something to those teams. They saved their best for the playoffs. They treaded water to the playoffs. They just kept winning games, stacking those wins, getting better, staying healthy, ironing out the details. And when the playoffs came, vamos. Thank you for the super chat, Quentin. My man Green Wingman with the $10 super chat. Greeny says, I am glad how the league wants to give this team more motivation with a team filled with hungry sickos. They already have a list of teams that voted to ban the brotherly shove. Now, I will give Detroit credit for this. I will give Dan Campbell credit for this. Dan Campbell is actually in favor of keeping the tush push. One thing I will say about Dan Campbell, he's a man's man, has an old school mindset. Hey, the Eagles found something. We got to stop it. That was his quote. They found something. We got to stop it. I respect Dan Campbell for that. I'll give him credit for that. He's a man's man. He understands the game. He understands what it takes. I respect him for that. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, just throwing gasoline on the blaze, man. We already got a chip on our shoulder because of the tush push shit. You know what I mean? And then you just add into it, man. That's all. That's all it is. Alex with the super chat. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. He says, we do appreciate Detroit for handing over home field, though. Hey, Alex, good point. Hey, Detroit, I will give you guys love for this. Thank you for handing us home field advantage. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. It really helps. You know, having a game at home in the playoffs really helps your chances. You know what I mean? Makes you comfortable. Makes you feel good. You get a home-cooked meal. You can stay in routine. Home games in the playoffs, they're great. You guys know what that's like. You know what it's like to have a home game in the playoffs, but you don't know what it's like to be able to take advantage of it. My bad. My bad. My man Anthony Chops Crowback, what's going on, big dog, with the $9.99? He says, Tone, what's good, bro? Funny how we win the Super Bowl and everyone, including Detroit, thinks they are entitled to our success. If y'all think y'all better, prove it. If y'all can't, then stay in line and let us cook. Chops, bro, you're I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. Everybody believes that they deserve to be where we are. Everybody believes that they deserve to hold that Lombardi trophy. You got to walk through the fire. You got to earn that right. You got to grind through the mud. You see Jalen Hurts, that man is battle-tested. Jalen Hurts done seen it all. Nick Sirianni's seen it all. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, they seen it all. That Eagles team. They seen it all. They earned that right. You can't just sit here talking about what you deserve or what you believe should have happened, would have happened, could have happened. Now you want to play us like we did it to you, like we stole something from y'all. You want Philly in week 1? Okay. That's y'all Super Bowl? All right. Okay. Okay. Hey, listen, that's their Super Bowl. If we play Detroit in week 1, that's their Super Bowl. That's their Super Bowl. All right. Carlos Rosado with the super chat. Thank you for the $5, man. He says, Tone, let them hate because they ain't great, bro. They must have forgot rain, sleet, or snow. The Eagles train to go. Let the haters still on the sidelines, champs. For facts, they on the sideline. They on the sideline talking crazy. Rain, sleet, or snow. The Eagles train to go. Let them haters stay on the sideline. Carlos, you spitting, bro. You right about that. Greeny back again with the super chat. Green Wingman, thank you for $10, man. He says, I disagree with the Commanders having hope. I was happy that they had to come through the link. It was beautiful to watch them watch us. It was beautiful to watch them. And it was beautiful to watch them choke. Hope the souls. Oh, I got you now. He says it was beautiful to watch them watch us choke the hope out of the souls of the Washington faithful. I'll read that again. Greeny says, I disagree with the Commanders having hope. I was happy that they had to come to the link. It was beautiful to watch them watch us choke the hope out of the souls of the Washington Commanders. Man. Bruh. It's a shame, man. Gave Washington false confidence. I hate y'all for that. I hate y'all for that. Ty, baby, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. The $4.99 super chat at that. Thank you. She says Goff had 3 interceptions against Washington. Guaranteed he would have had 6 against us. Jared Goff is, listen, you know what? Jared Goff is who they think Jalen Hurts is. And what I'm trying to say is they love saying Jalen Hurts is a product of the team. Jalen Hurts is carried and all that kind of stuff. They love saying that about Jalen Hurts, but it's really Jared Goff. It's really Jared Goff. It's really him. He held that team back. In the end, when it mattered most, Jared Goff was the person who held the Lions back. They don't want to talk about that, though. They'd much rather talk about how Jalen Hurts benefits from the Eagles roster. But one thing I know about Jalen Hurts, he's never going to hold the Eagles back. Hey, when Saquon bottled up in the Super Bowl, what Jalen Hurts do? Hey, get on my back, y'all. I got us. I'm going to take us to the promised land. I got us. I got us. In that Super Bowl, the Eagles were hardly in third and short, second and short situations. The Eagles were routinely in second and medium, third and long. Jalen Hurts was operating at a high level, an all-time level. Jared Goff, on the other hand, folded under pressure. What my man Kevin Gates say? That pressure. Everybody not built for the lights. Everybody not built for the cameras. Everybody want to be like Mike. Everybody can be like Mike. Alex with the super chat. Thank you, my man. He says, are you or the link up streaming during the draft? We're going to have a show that week. We're not streaming during the draft, but we are going to have a show that week, though. We may give you guys 2 shows that week. A show before the draft and a show to recap the draft. That's probably what we're going to do. We're still ironing out the details to that, though. But I will be live streaming for the draft on day 1 of the draft. I will be live streaming day 2 of the draft. And I will be live streaming. I won't be able to live stream day 3. I won't be able to live stream day 3. I don't think so. And if I am, it won't be long, maybe an hour or so. But you guys are going to get full coverage from me for the NFL draft. That's a guarantee. Trenton Wright with the super chat. Thank you, man. He says we have the best coach, quarterback, and defense and receivers in the NFC. I can't argue against that. I can't argue against that. Sorry. I'll take my quarterback against anybody. I'll take my head coach against anybody. I'll take my defense against any offense. I'll take my receivers against any other team. I'm sorry. I like our chances. I like the Eagles' odds against any and everybody. Straight like that. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. All right. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to revisit our mock draft from Monday, our mock draft 3.0. We're going to do a quick recap. We're going to do a quick recap of all of the mock drafts. And we're going to peel the layers back on our mock draft 3.0, okay? That's what we're going to do here. All right? So make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate you guys being phenomenal spectators to the show. All right. So just as a reminder, let's start from our mock draft 1.0. All right. Our first mock draft we did, and this is the mock draft where we did no trades. We didn't accept or execute any trades. We ended up with Walter Nolan, D tackle out of Ole Miss in the first round. In the second round, we drafted Princely Umanmielen, edge rusher out of Ole Miss. In the third round, we selected Gunnar Helm, tight end out of Texas. In the fourth, we selected Malachi Moore, safety out of Alabama. In the fifth round, we selected Miles Frazier, guard out of LSU. Jamin Dumas Johnson, linebacker out of Kentucky. Zah Frazier, cornerback out of the University of Texas, San Antonio. And Carson Vinson, offensive tackle out of Alabama A&M. And we did our mock drafts via ProFootballNetwork.com. This was our very first mock draft with no trades at all. All right. So if you guys want to screenshot that, if you want to hold on to that, you sure can. All right. Now let's get to our mock draft 2.0. Our second mock draft. This one did include some trades. In the first round, we traded up and we selected Nick Emanwari, safety out of South Carolina. In round 2, we selected Harold Fanning Jr., tight end out of Bowling Green. In round 3, we selected Deion Walker, D tackle out of Kentucky. In the fourth, we selected Kobe Bryant, cornerback out of Kansas. We traded up for that, or traded up for him, excuse me. Fifth round, we selected Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker out of South Carolina. In the sixth round, we selected Jack Sawyer, edge rusher out of Ohio State. We traded back for him. And lastly, we selected guard Connor Colby out of Iowa, and we traded back for that. So that's our second mock draft. This is our mock draft 2.0. And again, we did this via profootballnetwork.com. If you guys want to take a screenshot of that, you sure can. And most recently, we did our mock draft 3.0. We did this one on Monday. We did the draft, but we couldn't really look into the scouting profiles of all these players because I had to go. So we're going to revisit this mock draft, and we're going to go through them player by player and read their scouting report. But we selected in the first round Gray Zabel, guard out of North Dakota State. In the second round, we selected Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss. In the third, we selected Elijah Arroyo, tight end out of Miami, and we traded down to get him. In the fourth round, we selected Jalen Reed, safety out of Penn State. In the fifth, we ended up with Riley Mills, D tackle out of Notre Dame, and Jared Ivey, edge rusher out of Ole Miss. And in the sixth round, we walked away with Jack Nelson, offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. We traded down to get him. And we ended up with Cody Simon, linebacker out of Ohio State. We traded down to get him as well. And we also walked away with 2 additional 7th round picks for the 2026 NFL draft. So this is mock draft 3.0. You guys can screenshot this if you like. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section, especially if you're listening and watching after the fact. When the live stream is over, you're watching on your own time. Tell me what you guys think about mock draft 1.0, mock draft 2.0, and our mock draft 3.0. Tell me what you guys think about that. Now, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I don't know if you guys noticed, but what I like to do with my mock drafts is I like to select different players. I don't care if I go through a mock draft 1, 2, 3, 4 times and the same player happens to be available at the same spot or a similar spot. I'm not going to choose the same player. I don't believe in doing mock drafts and just selecting the same players over and over and over. I don't believe in that. I want to give you guys a different look. I want to give you guys different approaches. I want to give you guys different flavors of the mock drafts so we can at least get an idea of potential players that we may fall into. I see some mock drafts and people just continue to pick the same players at different spots or whatever it is. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I don't care if Walter Nolan was available still. I'm not picking him again because we already went through a mock draft where we selected him. I want to give you guys different flavors, different looks, different scenarios, because that's just how real life works. You got to prepare for every scenario. You got to prepare for every scenario. We didn't do any trades. We traded up in the first round. You know what I'm saying? I think the next course of action is we're going to try to trade back. We're going to try to trade back next time we do a mock draft. Instead of selecting someone in the first round at pick 32, I think we're going to maybe trade back a little bit. Maybe we'll trade back into a high 2nd round pick and play it that way. So, my goal is to give you guys different looks. My goal is to give you guys different scenarios of how this thing may play out. All right. Now, without further ado, let's get to the draft profiles. Let's get to the scouting reports of these guys we drafted here. All right. I like to use NFLDraftBuzz.com. It's personally one of my favorite platforms to use as it pertains to scouting players, looking up their scouting reports, getting their entire draft profile. NFL Draft Buzz does a phenomenal job at consolidating the information when it comes to combine numbers, when it comes to articles surrounding the players, their player profile, their bios, their strengths, their weaknesses, how they compare to the rest of their draft class and their position, overall rankings, positional rankings. They do a great job. So I really do love NFLDraftBuzz.com, one of my favorite platforms to use, NFL Draft Buzz. So, okay, so our first selection that we picked up, we had Gray Zabel, guard. Let's look up Gray Zabel. Gray Zabel. Okay. Gray Zabel, 6'6", 312 pounds. They have him listed as a tackle here, but he's going to be a guard in the NFL. He's the 5th ranked offensive lineman. That's tackles, centers, and guards included. Has an 87.2 player rating out of 100. Ran a 5.3 40-yard dash. He's considered to be a multi-role offensive lineman. And he can play guard. He can play tackle, right? He was invited to the Senior Bowl. Had a 5.3 40, which is pretty mediocre. Had a 111-inch broad jump, which is pretty elite. But one of the reasons they view him as a guard on the NFL level is because of his arms. His arms are pretty short. He has 32-inch arms with a 77-inch wingspan. Tall dude, big dude, but he has short arms. So he's not really a traditional tackle on the NFL level. Now, could he swing out the tackle if necessary? I'm sure. But he'll probably be a perfect guard on the NFL level. Now, he had a 65% average defensive rating of the opponents he went against. So he didn't really go up against the craziest competition in college playing at North Dakota State, but his pass blocking rating is 100% and his run blocking grade is a 97%. He's considered to be an early second-round pick. His overall ranking is 34th and his positional ranking is 5th amongst offensive linemen. He's played in a grand total of 57 college games with over 2,500 college snaps. And again, at North Dakota State, he didn't play against the craziest competition. But why people consider him such a talented prospect is because of his performance at the Senior Bowl when he had to go up against top-tier competition. On the FBS level. You see, he played in the FCS. But he showed up against FBS competition at the Senior Bowl, and he was very dominant. So I think that shot people up, or that allowed him to shoot up people's draft board. Now let's read his scouting report summary, okay? It says here, Gray Zabel's calling card jumps off the screen. He's a technician who brings controlled violence to every snap. The footwork, hip drive, and natural leverage he displays in North Dakota State's diverse run scheme will translate immediately to the NFL's interior. When I watch him combo block and climb to the second level, I see shades of Zack Martin's early Notre Dame tape. Not as explosive, but the same understanding of angles and timing. While he shows the skill set to play tackle, he may be better served moving inside where his natural leverage and mauling mentality could really shine. What excites me most is how he processes everything in real time. Watch the Northern Iowa game. They threw every stunt and blitz package imaginable at him, and he didn't just survive. He dominated. That mental acuity combined with his natural power and leverage makes him a plug-and-play guard who could also back up center with some development. A multifaceted offensive lineman, a very smart offensive lineman, a guy who can handle any stunt, any twist thrown his way. Every blitz, he can handle it. The power, the leverage, the violence, he has it. And they believe he's smart enough to play center. They believe he has the ability to pick up center as well. So you're getting a guy who traditionally has played tackle in college, but can play the interior very well, and has potential to give you reps at center. You're getting a guy who can completely take care of that center, right guard, and right tackle spot if need be. He'll be much better suited at guard, but he can play tackle if necessary, and he can be cross-trained to play center. That's value for me. It also says the fit is crystal clear. Put him in a zone-heavy system where he can combo block and get on the move. The Vikings would be an ideal landing spot in round 2. Their inside zone scheme perfectly matches his skill set, and they desperately need interior help. His technique is already refined enough to compete for a starting guard spot as a rookie, but his ceiling as a potential Pro Bowl caliber interior lineman will emerge by year 3 once he adds another 10 to 15 pounds of functional mass to his frame. So Gray Zabel, fascinating prospect, completely technically refined, intelligent player, has everything you want at the position: size, violence, power, mental acuity, versatility, and dominated at the Senior Bowl. So got to give credit where credit is due when it comes to that. Let's move on. Now we have Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss. And I believe Trey Amos, he actually is on the list of the Eagles' top 30 visits. I believe the Eagles had some more top 30 visits as well, but we're going to get to that later. But Trey Amos, I think we talked about him with my man Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Coach Marcus at Pro Fan Talk. Does amazing work. Trey Amos, I love the height. I love the size that he has the position. 6'1", 195 pounds, 3 interceptions, 13 pass deflections, 50 tackles, 39 solo. I like it. I like it a lot. A 4.43, decent speed, had a 1.6 10-yard split. That could be better. His arm length is fair. His wingspan is very good. Height and weight are pretty decent, pretty good. His vertical, not the craziest. Only has a 32.5-inch vertical. Had a 126-inch broad jump. Now, as it pertains to the competition he faced competition with the 80% rating, with the 80% grade. So he's going up against some really, really dominant competition in the SEC playing at Ole Miss. Ole Miss had one of the best defenses in football, in college football last season, and he was one of the reasons why. Quarterbacks had a 57.7 passer rating when targeting Trey Amos. So he's a guy that when he was targeted, he did his job. Has an 82% tackle rating, 84% run defense grade, a 90% coverage grade, an 84% zone grade, and an 86% man press grade. He's considered to be a late second-round pick, has an overall ranking of 50, and is ranked 9th at his position. He played 61 college games with over 2,400 college snaps. He was a 3-star recruit, according to ESPN and 24/7 Sports, respectively, and was considered to be a 2-star recruit, according to Rivals.com. So he's exceeded all expectations for himself. He's been compared to Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia, Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, TJ Tampa out of Iowa State. Now let's get to his scouting report. Now, when it comes to Trey Amos' scouting report, it says the film shows a boundary corner with genuine NFL starter traits and scheme versatility that will have defensive coordinator salivating. His press man ability translates immediately to the next level, where his combination of length, physicality, and fluid transitions will allow him to match up with ex-receivers from day one. While his zone coverage skills need some refinement, particularly in matching route combinations from trips formations, Amos shows the processing speed and athletic traits to develop in this area. His competitive toughness jumps off the tape. He's the type of corner who takes it personally when a receiver catches a 5-yard hitch. Trey Amos projects as a day 2 selection with immediate contributing potential in sub packages while developing into a full-time starter by year 2. Best fit would be in a defense that emphasizes press man coverage and allows him to use his length and physicality to disrupt at the line of scrimmage. He has the tools to become a quality NFL starter with proper coaching and continued technical refinement. So Trey Amos is a guy that the Philadelphia Eagles are already looking at. They invited him for a top 30 visit. So we may see Trey Amos on the Philadelphia Eagles draft board. We may see him in the Eagles uniform. You never know. You never know. All right, moving on. Our next guy here, we have Elijah Arroyo. Elijah Arroyo out of Miami. Now, Elijah Arroyo, his last season only had 35 catches, 590 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, averaged almost 17 yards of reception, 6'5", 250 from Frisco, Texas. Has an 85.1 player rating. He's the 4th ranked tight end in the draft, according to NFL Draft Buzz. And he ran a 4.69 40-yard dash. So the measurables are pretty decent as far as height. His weight is decent as well. It's fair. Wingspan, very, very good. 40-yard dash is solid as well. Bench press is solid. When it comes to the competition he faced, the competition faced has a 72% grade as far as defenses. The average passer rating when targeted is 129.0. So when the ball comes his way, he's pretty sure-handed. He has an 81% grade for his hands, a 78% grade for his short receiving prowess, an 82% grade for his intermediate routes, and an 84% grade for his deep threat ability. And he has a 65% blocking grade, which is not bad. It's pretty decent. He's projected to be a day 2 pick, 3rd round to be specific. And that's exactly where we drafted him at, in the 3rd round. His overall ranking is 73rd with a positional ranking of being 4th amongst all tight ends. He played in 34 college games and has only logged 997 college snaps. So to me, Elijah Arroyo has clearly had to battle some injuries in his college career. In his first year at Miami, played in 12 games. In his second season, his sophomore season, only played in 5 games. In his junior season, in his junior season, technically, he only played in 6 games. And his senior season, he played in 13 games. His senior season was his best season, but he battles injuries. He can't stay healthy. That's a problem. He may drop in the draft because of the health factor. And even his numbers aren't jaw-dropping. Like Harold Fannin Jr., Harold Fannin Jr.'s numbers are insane. More targets, more receptions, more yards, more touchdowns. Elijah Arroyo, he's a risk because of the health. He is a risk. I will admit that. But he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school all the way around, according to ESPN, 24/7 Sports, and Rebels.com. The dude was one of the most talented guys coming out of high school, but he just couldn't stay healthy. Guys they compare him to is Cade Stover out of Ohio State, Luke Schoonmaker out of Michigan, and Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely plays for the Baltimore Ravens. Luke Schoonmaker, I believe, plays for I think Luke Schoonmaker, he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Yep, that's like I thought. Luke Schoonmaker plays for the Cowboys. Arroyo. It says here, Arroyo profiles as a modern move tight end who can create matchup problems from multiple alignments in the NFL passing game. His combination of size, athletic ability, and natural receiving skills gives him clear upside as a seam stretching target who can both challenge defenses vertically and work the intermediate areas with precision. Excuse me. His best fit at the next level will be with the creative offensive coordinator who can maximize his receiving ability while continuing to develop his blocking technique. Teams running heavy play action concepts from 12 personnel should be particularly intrigued by what Arroyo brings to the table. His ability to sell the run before releasing into routes makes him an ideal weapon for that style of offense. While the medical history adds an element of risk to his evaluation, Arroyo's performance in 2024 showed he has the tools to become a productive NFL tight end. The flashes of brilliance he displayed this season, particularly his manipulation of defenders in space and natural receiving ability, suggests his ceiling remains largely untapped. In the right system, he has the potential to develop into a reliable tight end 2 with upside for more. So, talented guy, but injuries is something that people are concerned about. Understands leverage, knows how to, and on the intermediate, knows how to get open in the seam, can be a mismatch nightmare. But as of right now, he's projected to be a reliable tight end 2, but with potential to be a tight end 1. We'll see. We'll see. Now, let's move on from Elijah Arroyo and let's move on to Jalen Reed. Jalen Reed, safety out of Penn State. And I think you guys told me that Jalen Reed is being brought in or has been brought in for a top 30 visit. Let me look at this super chat real quick before we continue. Actually, we got a couple here. Alex with a super chat. Thank you, Alex. He says Jalen Reed has had a top 30 visit with the Eagles. Hey, that means we're on point, you guys. That means we're on point. Our evaluations, our mock drafts are pretty on point here. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate the update. In Flight 215, thank you, my friend, for the super chat. He says, will you rank Tanner McKee above quarterbacks in the draft? If so, would a quarterback needy team like Cleveland trade the Eagles instead of getting a rookie quarterback first round with the top 5 pick? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I believe Tanner McKee has shown teams a lot of great things. He's shown them a lot of great things when he had his opportunities to start for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, he did great things against that Dallas defense, and he did a pretty good job against that Giants defense as well. But I still believe Tanner McKee at best right now is a backup quarterback. I don't believe Tanner McKee is a starter quite yet. Again, he's shown flashes of brilliance. He throws an amazing back shoulder ball. He throws with anticipation. He's accurate. He doesn't turn the ball over. But I'm not sure if Tanner McKee is starter quality just yet. I'm not sure he's at that point just yet. Could he compete for a starting spot? It's very possible. But who would Tanner McKee be over the course of an extended season? Right? Who would he be then? I like Tanner McKee. Don't get it twisted. I like him a lot. I like him as our backup, but I'm not sure the Philadelphia Eagles are willing to trade Tanner McKee right now. He's their best backup quarterback. They did also trade for, I believe it was Dorian Thompson or something like that. Who's the quarterback they traded for with Cleveland? I think his name is Dorian. Is it Darian Thompson or something like that? I can't remember his name. But regardless, though, I'm not sure if Tanner McKee is a starter quite yet. And they already sent Kenny Pickett to Cleveland. So they're not going to send both of their quarterbacks to Cleveland. That's not going to happen. And I think Cleveland takes a quarterback. I think Cleveland is going to take Shedeur Sanders. That's what I think. I think Cleveland takes Shedeur. There's no way they're going into the season with Kenny Pickett. And I mean that respectfully. All right, let's get the Jalen Reed scouting report. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. It means a lot to me, you guys. Helps the channel grow. Also, if you guys are tuning in after the fact, get active in that comment section. The comment section is really important for the algorithm, just like the like button. Hitting that like button and giving me a comment below is really important. So make sure you guys comment after the live stream is over. Give me your thoughts on the Amon-Ra St. Brown topic. Give me your thoughts on our mock drafts 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Let me know who your favorite prospects are in this upcoming draft class. Who do you guys think I need to lock in on? Who do I need to study more? Give me your thoughts on everything that is we've talked about, you guys. If you have thoughts on the show, anything you guys would like to see, comment below. I always check out the comments when I get the chance. I don't always respond to every comment, but make sure you guys comment below. It really helps the channel grow. All right, Jalen Reed, 6 feet, 211 pounds. Went to Penn State from Detroit, Michigan. 3 interceptions, 3 passes defensed, 98 tackles, 51 solo. Okay, this guy's a tackling machine. An 80% player rating. He's the 30th ranked defensive back. That's cornerbacks and safeties included, and slot and nickels included, okay? So he's the 30th ranked DB in the draft. He ran a 4.49 40-yard dash time. He's considered to be a man zone slot guy, a nickel safety. He's somebody that can get it popping, playing close to the line of scrimmage. He's 22 years old. Ran a 4.49 40-yard dash with a 1.51 10-yard split. That's really, really good. He bench pressed 19 reps. That's really, really good. Doesn't have the longest arms, but his measurables are fair. They're reasonable. When it came to the offensive rating of the competition he's faced, he's going up against offenses with a 79% grade. His passer rating when targeted, his average passer rating when targeted is a 98.9. His tackling grade is 76%. His run defense grade is 85%. His coverage grade is 60%. His zone grade is 67%. And his man press grade is 58%. So this guy, he's pretty mediocre. He's average in coverage. He's okay in coverage. But his calling card, his true talents are when he's able to play in the run. He tackles very well. He plays angles very well. He's very instinctual. He's projected to be a 6th round pick. We drafted him in the 4th round. So one could argue we reached for him. One could argue that. But according to NFLDraftBuzz.com, he's projected to go in the 6th round. His overall ranking is 186. We drafted him at pick 134. His positional ranking is 30th amongst all DBs. He's played in 49 college games with just over 1,900 college snaps. He was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, according to ESPN, 24/7 Sports, and Rivals.com all the way around. And player comparisons, they compare him to Kalen DeLoach out of Florida State. He's in this draft class as well. They compare him to Nick Cross out of Maryland, who plays for the Colts right now. And they compare him to Damani Richardson, who's coming out Texas A&M. Now let's get to the scouting report. It says here, Jalen Reed is a physical tone setter with versatility to fill multiple roles in an NFL defensive backfield. Reed brings immediate value on all 4 special teams units while developing into a defensive contributor. His ability to dignify or diagnify plays quickly and attack downhill jumps off the tape, particularly when working in the box or as an overhang defender. The explosion he generates through contact and reliable tackling technique will translate well to the next level. What separates Reed from other day 3 safeties is his combination of football intelligence and scheme flexibility. He's shown consistent growth in coverage recognition and pre-snap adjustments, suggesting untapped potential as he continues developing. While he may not have pure range to thrive as a single high safety, his instincts and physicality make him an ideal fit for quarters coverage schemes or defensive packages utilizing 3 safeties. That's a big nickel. Ultimately, Reed represents solid value in the middle rounds as a high floor prospect who can contribute immediately while developing into a potential starter. His ceiling will depend largely on continued refinement of his coverage skills, but his floor is secure given his special teams prowess and the ability to play multiple roles on the defense. The film shows a player who brings infectious energy and consistently makes his presence felt, the kind of tone setter who elevates the physicality of both practice and game day. So he's a physical guy. Physical dude, plays the game with toughness, can tackle very well, plays the run very well, has a lot of improvement that's needed in coverage. Plays downhill, though. All right, let's move on. Who we got next? We got Riley Mills. Riley Mills, D tackle out of Notre Dame. Riley Mills. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Riley Mills has 7.5 sacks at Notre Dame, 37 tackles, 19 solo. He's 6'5", 291 pounds, which is very unique in my opinion. They classify him as a D lineman, meaning he can move up and down, inside, outside, whatever you need. Has an 82.9 player rating. He's the 32nd ranked defensive lineman. That includes edge rushers, D ends, and D tackles. And he ran a 4.79 40-yard dash. He's considered to be a 3-technique defensive tackle. 3 technique basically means the outside shoulder of the guard. His height is optimal. His weight is pretty average for the position. His 40-yard dash time is really, really good. He doesn't have the longest arms, which probably makes it hard for him to really be dominant as an edge rusher. But as a 3-technique defensive tackle, a guy that can attack the outside shoulder of that guard, maybe use him as a defensive end in various scenarios, he's a guy that should be able to win. He went up against offenses with a 79% rating overall. His tackling grade is 82%. Pass rush grade is 90%. Run defense grade is 70%. He's projected to go in the 4th round. His overall ranking is 133rd, with the 32nd ranked for his position on the D line. That includes D tackles, D ends, and edge rushers combined. He played in 61 college games with over 1,800 college snaps. He came into college as a 4-star recruit all the way around. His comparisons is Quinyon White from Georgia Tech, who plays for the Patriots. Zack Pickens out of South Carolina, who plays for the Bears. and Isaiah McGuire out of Missouri, who plays for the Cleveland Browns. Let's move on to Riley Mills' overall scouting report. It says here, Riley Mills brings a toolbox that clearly tilts toward disruption rather than pure anchor strength. His film shows a defender who attacks with violence in the passing game while displaying adequate but inconsistent play against the run. This disparity in performance creates a natural projection as a rotational player who can earn early downs through technical development while immediately contributing in pass rush packages. His combination of length, hand usage, and football IQ compensates for athletic limitations that might otherwise cap his ceiling. The December ACL tear complicates his immediate impact. Oh, okay, here we go. So he tore his ACL in December. So it says here the torn ACL he suffered in December complicates his immediate impact timeline, but doesn't fundamentally alter his long-term outlook. Physical setbacks aside, Riley Mills has demonstrated the mental approach and work ethic needed to maximize his recovery period. Teams employing multiple front looks will find particular value in his positional flexibility, a player capable of lining up anywhere from 3 technique to 5 technique, depending on down and distance and defensive call. His occasional flashes of dominance suggest untapped potential that proper coaching could unlock consistently. Defensive fronts across the league are increasingly emphasizing versatility and multiplicity, precisely the attributes Mills offers when healthy. Teams willing to exercise patience during his rehabilitation will find a technically sound defender whose strengths align with modern defensive principles and whose makeup suggests he'll extract every ounce of potential from his physical gifts. So we're talking about a guy who's a grinder, works hard, a guy who's going to make sure that he gets to the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his talent and his potential. He's not going to leave any stone unturned as it pertains to his overall development. So whatever he becomes on the NFL level is exactly what he's supposed to be, because he's going to make sure he empties the tank. And that's somebody you like. The ACL tear is a little alarming. That may force him to fall in the draft because of the tear. Maybe he would have went higher if it wasn't for the tear. Who knows? But 6'5", 291, a guy that can play anywhere from 3 technique all the way to the 5. I like that. But he does need refinement as a run defender. Has to get stronger too, by the way. So he probably needs to put on about maybe 10 to 15 more pounds of functional weight on the NFL level. All right, let's move on. We got Jared Ivey. Jared Ivey, edge rusher. We drafted Jared Ivey in the 5th round of our mock draft. Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss. That's our second Ole Miss player. I've been drafting a lot of Ole Miss guys. I've noticed that. In my first draft class, I drafted 2. In our mock draft 1.0, we drafted 2 Ole Miss players. One at D tackle, Walter Nolan, and we drafted Prince Umanmielen, edge rusher, in the 2nd round. Now we've drafted Trey Amos, cornerback, in the 2nd round, and we drafted Jared Ivey. Jared Ivey, edge rusher, in the 5th round. Jared Ivey, 6'6", 274 pounds. I love the measurables. 7 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 42 tackles, 23 solo. I love the measurables. 6'6", 274. I love it. He's considered to be a versatile defensive lineman. He was invited to the Senior Bowl. He ran a 5.09 40, which is not really impressive. He has an 81-inch wingspan, which is really good. Again, his measurables, height and weight, are very solid, but that 40-yard dash is not impressive in the slightest. His bench press had 23 reps on it, which is decent. Arm length is okay. It's decent. Hand size, okay. His overall rating is an 84.9 out of 100. The average offensive rating of defenses he's faced is at 80%. He has an 89% tackling grade, a 91% pass rush grade, and an 83% run defense grade. So he's projected to go in the third round. We were able to snag him in the fifth, so we got value. His overall ranking is 78th in his draft class, and he's the 23rd ranked defensive lineman. That includes D tackles, D ends, and edge rushers combined. He's played in 56 total college games with just over 2,200 college snaps. He was a 4-star recruit according to 247sports.com and a 3-star recruit according to ESPN and Rivals.com, respectively. The thing about him is, you ask yourself, he played with Walter Nolan. He played with Prince Uman-Milan, right? You ask yourself, how dominant was he? And how much of that dominance do we attribute to Walter Nolan and Princely Uman-Milan? That's something we have to consider. As far as his player comps, he's compared to Ioma Ubasecurity out of Iowa State. He plays for the Denver Broncos. I'm always butchering these names, by the way. Tyler Lacey out of Oklahoma State plays for the Jaguars. And Tuli Tuipulotu. That's Marlon Tuipulotu's brother. He plays for the Los Angeles Chargers. So let's get to the overall scouting report for Jared Ivey. It says here, put on the tape from his battles against Georgia and LSU, and you'll see why Ivey has day one starter potential in a 4-3 scheme. His advanced hand usage and devastating power at the point of attack will translate immediately to the NFL. What really gets me excited is how he's developed his interior rush arsenal. Watching him collapse the pocket against guards in the Peach Bowl showed exactly how a creative defensive coordinator could weaponize his versatility. After studying his film, Jared Ivey profiles as a reliable power rusher who knows how to maximize his physical tools. His technical refinement and rush plan sophistication are impressive for a player with his frame. The lack of elite bend and burst off the edge will limit his pure sack numbers, but his ability to win with power and technique while setting a dominant edge makes him a complete defender who should develop into a solid starter. The nasty bull rush he displayed against Kentucky's tackles shows exactly what he can bring to an NFL defensive line. In the right system, think San Francisco or Baltimore, where they love to move their defensive linemen around. Jared Ivey could develop into one of the better young power rushers in the league. His ability to play both strong side end and reduce inside on passing downs gives him legitimate 3-down value. The team that drafts him is getting a high floor defender with sneaky upside as a pass rusher. Don't be shocked if he's starting and making an impact by mid-season of his rookie year. So that's Jared Ivey. If you're just hopping in, we're talking about Jared Ivey. Jared Ivey, edge rusher, defensive end out of Ole Miss. He's played with Walter Nolan. He's played with Princely Uman-Milan. He's played with Trey Amos. Moving on. We're almost finished here, you guys. Then we're going to begin to close the show. Let's move on to our 6th round pick, Jack Nelson. Jack Nelson, offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. Now, Jack Nelson, 6'7", 314. It's a big dude. Offensive tackle, hometown, Stoughton, Wisconsin. Has an overall player rating of 80.5. He's the 32nd ranked offensive lineman. That includes centers, guards, and tackles. And he ran a 5.1 40-yard dash time. He's projected to be a left tackle on the NFL level. He was invited to the Senior Bowl. His height is great at 6'7". He has decent weight. Once he gets into an NFL program, he can definitely put on about 10 to 15 pounds of functional weight at the NFL level, which would be really important for him. 40-yard dash time was spectacular, ran a 5.1. His hands and his arm length and his wingspan are fair. They're decent. They're pretty average. And his bench press was pretty average as well. Now, the average rating of defenses that he's faced has a 76% grade, which is pretty good. His pass blocking grade is 83%. His run blocking grade is 74%. He's projected to be a 6th-round pick with an overall ranking of 179th. We picked him with the 182nd overall pick, so we got pretty good value for that draft pick. He's the 32nd ranked overall offensive lineman in football right now, or in the draft class. He played in 51 college games with over 3,100 college snaps. This guy has a ton of experience. He was a 4-star recruit according to ESPN and Rivals.com, and he was a 5-star recruit according to 247sports.com. His player comps are Jackson Kirkland out of Washington. Jackson Kirkland is still in college. I believe he's in this draft class as well. Nick Saldivari out of Old Dominion. He plays for the Saints. And Wanye Morris out of Oklahoma, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, let's get to his overall scouting report. It says here, Jack Nelson strikes as a day 3 selection with clear strengths that could make him an immediate depth piece with starter upside if developed properly. The Wisconsin product's pass protection really jumps off the screen. When he gets his hands on defenders, they rarely reach the quarterback. Yet his run blocking, while solid, doesn't generate the same consistent movement you'd expect from a tackle with his frame and strength. Teams running zone schemes with the heavy play action element will value Nelson's ability to hold the fort in protection while still offering enough mobility to execute reach blocks and work combo assignments. His film against elite Big Ten edge rushers reveals a player who understands angles and leverages his length effectively, but also exposes limitations that might hinder him against NFL caliber speed rushers who can stress his lateral mobility. So his feet could be better. His feet could be better as far as moving laterally. He needs to play to his size more, especially in run defense. But pass blocking is very good. It says here, watch Jack Nelson closely, and you'll see why, despite his height, his best NFL fit is likely at right guard. Interesting. A 6'7" right guard. That's fascinating. The position maximizes his anchor strength and powerful initial punch while minimizing exposure to speed rushers who can exploit his lateral limitations. That's why they think he may be better suited at guard, because of the lateral limitations. He struggles with speed guys. His tendency to overset and struggles protecting the B gap are less problematic inside, where his impressive strength and pass protection and ability to work double teams become premium assets. His intelligence in picking up stunts and blitzes will translate immediately, making him an attractive mid to late round target for teams looking to solidify their interior offensive line with a high floor prospect who won't need years of technical overhaul to contribute on Sundays. So this guy was an offensive tackle in college. He was a left tackle, but they believe Jack Nelson will probably be better suited as a guard, a right guard in particular, because that way he won't be exposed. He won't be exposed because he does struggle with speed guys. Very good in pass protection, inconsistent in run blocking though. Sounds like a Jeff Stoutland project. And being 6'7", 314 pounds, he puts on another 10 pounds at the NFL level. Hey, you may got somebody here that could be a swing guard, a swing tackle. You got somebody that can move up and down the offensive line. This may be your new Jack Driscoll. Okay, let's keep the ball rolling. We made it to our last player, our last draft pick from our mock draft 3.0. We have Cody Simon. Cody Simon, linebacker out of Ohio State. Now, Cody Simon, 6'2", 229 pounds, from Jersey City, New Jersey. So he's from the East Coast. Has 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 112 tackles, and 51 solos. So this guy's a tackling machine. Has an 83 player rating. He's the 12th ranked linebacker in his draft class, and he ran a 4.59 40-yard dash. He projects as a multi-role linebacker. His height is decent. Hands are decent. His weight is pretty below average. His wingspan is pretty good, so he has long arms, has a strong 40-yard dash time. He's a very athletic linebacker with quick feet, strong shuttle, decent vertical, strong broad jump, decent 3-cone drill, and a decent bench press. The average rating of offenses he's faced has an 81% grade. His tackling he has a 78% tackling grade, a 92% pass rush grade, a 95% run defense grade, and an 80% coverage grade. So this guy is pretty good. He's projected to go in the 4th round. We got him in the 6th round. So we got tremendous value for Cody Simon. His overall ranking in the draft class is 129th. We got him at pick 202. Again, we got value. And like I said, his positional ranking at linebacker is 12th. He's played in 52 college games and logged in over 1,700 college snaps. He was a 4-star recruit, respectively, coming out of ESPN, 24/7 Sports, and Rivals.com. His player comparisons are Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M, who plays for the Green Bay Packers. Cedric Gray out of North Carolina, who plays for the Tennessee Titans. And another comp is Jack Sanborn out of Wisconsin as well. So let's get to his overall scouting report. It says here, Cody Simon brings a skill set tailor-made for specific roles rather than a 3-down dominance. His film reveals a linebacker with 2 clear calling cards, attacking downhill against the run and bringing heat as a blitzer. These attributes provide a foundation to build upon while he earns his stripes on special teams, where his combination of intelligence and athleticism should make him an immediate contributor. The tape tells a story of a player whose impact fluctuates dramatically depending on what he's asked to do. When deployed as a run stopper or blitzer, Simon shows flashes of brilliance, like his standout Rose Bowl performance against Oregon. When forced to play in space or take on blocks directly, the limitations become apparent. This inconsistency explains why he never fully claimed a permanent starting role at Ohio State, despite his athletic tools and playmaking ability. At the next level, Cody Simon projects as a core special teamer who will need time to develop into a defensive contributor. Defensive coordinators who employ aggressive, multiple front schemes could find situational roles for him early in his career on obvious running downs or as a blitz specialist. His ceiling appears to be as a rotational linebacker who excels in specific packages while contributing on special teams. With proper coaching focused on his block shedding and coverage consistency, Simon could develop into a valuable defensive piece within his first contract, but patience will be required. So Cody Simon is a little bit of a project. He will definitely be a strong special teamer, somebody who has strong tackling ability, can blitz, plays downhill very well, but struggles in space, struggles to get off blocks. So Cody Simon, he's a project. Not the biggest dude, only weighing 229 pounds. He's 6'2", though. 6'2". So he's a guy, maybe the Eagles look at him to add to the linebacker room, to fortify special teams, especially with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. potentially coming in as a starter with Nakobe Dean dealing with the injury. But regardless, though, Cody Simon. So there you have it, you guys. There you have it. That is our mock draft 3.0 revisited. All right. So we drafted Gray Zabel, Trey Amos, Elijah Arroyo, tight end, Jalen Reed, safety, Riley Mills, D tackle, Jared Ivey, edge rusher, Jack Nelson, offensive tackle, and Cody Simon, linebacker. That's our mock draft 3.0. In our mock draft 2.0, we drafted Nick Emenwari, safety, Harold Fannin Jr., tight end, Deion Walker, defensive tackle, Kobe Bryant, cornerback, Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker, Jack Sawyer, edge rusher, and Connor Colby, offensive guard. And in our first mock draft, 1.0, we drafted Walter Nolan, D tackle, Princely Umanmielen, edge rusher, Gunnar Helm, tight end, Malachi Moore, safety, Miles Frazier, guard, Jamin Dumas Johnson, linebacker, Zah Frazier, cornerback, and Carson Vincent, offensive tackle. And you guys, that is our mock drafts 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning into the show. It was phenomenal. I really do appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. You guys have been phenomenal. Once again, make sure you guys take advantage of the SeatGeek promo code I have available for you guys. I have a partnership with SeatGeek, and we are offering you guys $20 off your first SeatGeek order. That's $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Okay? Use promo code Chalk It Up Sports, and you'll be able to get $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Just download the app, create a profile, use that promo code, and enjoy yourself at the Phillies game. All right? On top of that, make sure you guys check out the content not only on YouTube, but you also can double back and check it out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We make sure the content is available for you guys on multiple fronts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys continue to hit the comment. Give me a comment. Anything you want, talk to me about what you want. Just make sure you guys keep it respectful, okay? Other than that, you guys have been tuned into a hell of a show. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you comment below. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and you guys have been locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.